Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I want to talk about some prevention tips. Preventing attracting somebody who's narcissistic in dating or getting into a relationship with them. I mean, we all know about the red flags in dating, okay? But there's certain things that you have to look at and say to yourself, okay, how can I prevent myself from being entrapped by a narcissist? Okay? What have I done wrong in my past relationships? Am I going in a circle? Am I picking the same type of partners? This is what happens to a lot of people. They pick the same type of partners. Some people are attracted to people that, they think are very self-assured, very confident. They feel that that person has a sense of strength and maybe that person is building you up in the beginning. This is how people get fooled, you guys, because they meet someone, and a lot of times a narcissist can be overpowering with affection, compliments. We all talk about the love bombing. We know what the love bombing is. Be aware that if somebody is just too nice too soon, that is a red flag that you could be dealing with somebody who's narcissistic, okay? If it seems fake, 9 times out of 10, it's fake, all right? Trust your gut. The gut doesn't lie the way people do. But what I wanted to talk about is how to prevent getting involved in another narcissistic relationship with somebody. The way you prevent getting involved in another relationship or preventing yourself from getting involved in any kind of narcissistic relationship is boundaries. Oh my God. I gotta say this 1,001 times. Boundaries are the key to healthy relationships. It's how you protect yourself with somebody, okay? It doesn't have to necessarily even be somebody narcissistic. Anybody, all right? These are your rules, your standards, what you'll accept and what you won't accept. And what I think a lot of people need to do is they need to introspect. They need to look at themselves and say to themselves, well, what can I live with and what can I live with, all right? I mean, you can't be too stringent in boundaries, but you can't be too loose in boundaries either. And that's where you have a lot of toxic relationships, okay? Because you have people that have very loose boundaries, or they make excuses for that person all the time. They want to think about the good in that person, because that person is always giving them excuses why they broke their boundaries. And a lot of people sit there and they say, well, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. All right. You know how many times I've heard this, and I've also been a victim of doing this as well. You give somebody the benefit of the doubt and you say to yourself, well, maybe they didn't know. Okay. They know. All right. If you've been with somebody and you've dealt with people that have broke your boundaries, or you've dealt with narcissists that broke your boundaries, trust me when I tell you, they know, and they will test you. These people will test you. The narcissist will test you to see how much they can get away with. And the reason that a lot of people let the narcissist get away with what they get away with is because maybe they're afraid to be alone. Maybe they're looking at the narcissist with a lustful type of way they look at them. They're thinking it's love, and actually it's lust. They're lusting, the sex with that person. They're lusting the intimacy, although there's not intimacy with a narcissist, because a narcissist can't really be intimate. They don't want to get close. So it's usually just the, fake affection, the love bombing. Some narcissists are very good at laying it down in the bedroom, and some, are not good. If they're there with you, for other reasons than sex, they're not going to be good in the bedroom, okay? Because they're not with you because they're sexually attracted to you or they want intimacy with you. They're there with you because you offer some sort of supply, all right? So this is what I have to tell you guys. In order to, spot these narcs or spot these people that are going to try to use you or are toxic, your boundaries are what protect you. So what I recommend a lot of people do is make a list of how you want to date somebody or how you want to be in a relationship Or what are your goals? Where are you in your life? Where do you want to be in your life? Okay. And then what you do is you look at this person that you're getting to know and you make a decision. Is this person going to fit into my life? And we're able to be on the same path and move forward and build, and it's productive and, it's beneficial and a happy thing for me? Or is this really somebody who's not going to add to my life, okay? Now, if you're dealing with somebody that all they could add to your life is that fake love bombing, that bullshit that they throw on you, telling you how much they love you or something like that, and they're not moving with you organically, that is a red flag, you guys. And a lot of these narcissists that use the love bombing, they use it because they got nothing else to reel you in with, all right? Maybe you're somebody who's been hurt in the past. You've been through something. Maybe you've been divorced. Maybe you're a single parent that has kids and you have it hard. And here comes the narcissist with all their bullshit, telling you how much they love you. And you become vulnerable to that. You become vulnerable to that because that's what you want. You want to feel loved because you've had so much hurt in your life and you fall prey to these predators. Yes, they're predators, all right? They're coming at you looking to get something off you, all right? They're looking to use you for something because they're not with you for love, all right? And the only way you're going to know that is in time and moving slowly. And what do I always tell you guys? The narcissist hates to move slowly. So you got to slow them down. And that's how you're going to be able to tell if this person is sincere or this person is giving you the BS, all right? So that's one of the ways you can, protect yourself from getting involved with a narcissist is to move slowly, have boundaries, and look at this person. I always say when you're dealing with somebody, okay, on a personal level, like a personal relationship or something like that, the way somebody should respect you is the way people respect you at your job, okay? There's certain things, for instance, when you work, when you work at a corporation or you work at a company, there's certain things that the company will accept and certain things that they won't accept on the job. And it's the same thing with a relationship, all right? There's certain rules and boundaries that people have to abide by in order to respect you. But you see, this is the problem today. This is the problem today with relationships. Low boundaries. Like there was a woman that got on one of my posts on social media and she said, "Oh, Jesus, please bring back the good men. Bring us back the good men." And what I wanted to say to her was, in order to have somebody treat you right, you've got to have boundaries because human beings in general will take the path of least resistance, okay? So if you let somebody get away with something, they're going to do it. If you don't check them, if somebody's ghosting you, if somebody's not consistent with you, if somebody keeps making excuses and you're still there, whose fault is that? You didn't have your boundaries in place. You let them get away with it, okay? And people you guys, it's human nature. People will try to just get away with what they can get away with. It's not a male thing. It's not a female thing, okay? It's just human nature that these people will try to go the path of least resistance. And children do this as well. This is why when you have children, you have to have certain rules. Children like routine, all right? They like to know what's expected of them and what they need to do. It keeps them on track. And it's the same thing as in a relationship. You want to keep your relationship on track. You don't want to have loose boundaries. And today, there's so many people codependent trying to hold on to a relationship that they're letting things just slide. They're letting things slide like crazy, okay? Like, for instance, I have a lot of male friends that come to me and tell me, you know what, sex is so easy to get. I could go to a bar and get sex tonight. I could do this. I could do that. That's why a lot of these dudes are not giving you relationships because they're looking at you and saying, why should I cut off myself from being in a relationship when I can go out, be free, have sex with a million different women? And it goes the other way, that you got women doing that as well. You got women as well, you guys. It's not just a male thing, because I've heard it from the men as well. There's a lot of women out there that are doing the same thing, that are just going out and having a good old time, all right? But the problem is, the people that want to have somebody, they're dealing with these type of people that don't want to be in a committed relationship and give up their freedom. So that what they're doing is they're looking at you and they're trying to decide, well, okay, what else can I get from you? All right, because I can get sex anywhere. So now you got these opportunist narcissists out there trying to get something out of you, okay? But that's not even sex, because they feel like, you know what? I'm just going to love bomb you because maybe you own a house and I want to try to move into your house. Or maybe you have money and maybe you're a come up for me. You got a lot of people doing this, male and female, looking for a come up, all right? They're getting with you. And it's not that they're so in love with you or anything with the sex with you, okay? Because a lot of them, you won't even have good sex with them. It's just the fake love and affection, because they feel like even if they get with you, they're going to be cheating on you on the side, all right? That's what these narcs do. They cheat because they always want more. They feel entitled. And they get bored with somebody, all right? So they're going to use you for that come up, for that financial benefit, and then they're going to be out creeping on the side on you. And this is what you got to be aware of, and this is what you've got to watch out for. And also, what do I tell you guys 1,000 times? Look at their track record. Has this person been able to be in a long-term relationship, or has their past relationships always been toxic? You're not going to know that in the beginning because they're going to lie to you. A narcissist is going to lie to you. They're going to paint themselves out to be the victim of their past relationships, okay? And some of them are very slick because they know that if they say anything bad about their prior relationships, you're onto it, especially if you've educated yourself onto narcissism and dating. So they're going to be careful not to badmouth their exes. They may just say, well, it didn't work out or something like that, or downplay it. So you'll think, oh, they're a nice person because, they're not badmouthing their ex. Just be careful of that. Some of them are very good at manipulation and will say things like that. You're only going to know it in time. The more that you get to know that person, the more the mask comes off. The more you'll see little things about what this person's true character is. And the other thing I want to tell you guys is this, okay, when it comes to narcissists and boundaries. When you're dealing with a narc, okay, and you put up that boundary, they're not going to like it, okay? They're either not going to deal with you, okay? When you put up that boundary, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're either going to bullshit you and say, oh, okay, no, that's fine. You want to take the relationship slow? I'm with you. That's fine. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to go contact the other person that they got lined up on the side and start giving their energy to them, all right? That's what usually happens. Or they'll just discard you altogether because you're too much work or you have too many strong boundaries, which is fine. Because you know what? It's better to be alone than be with somebody who's going to make you miserable or make you feel alone. It's worse to be in a relationship where you feel alone, okay? How do I know? I've been in that spot. I know what it is, okay? It's worse to be in a relationship where you feel alone than to be alone. When you're alone, you have your peace. When you're in a relationship and you're alone, and you feel alone in that relationship, you don't feel your peace, okay? And boundaries are what protect you from being in that spot. So never feel that if you have your boundary and that person walks away or that person starts playing games with you, well, if they play games with you, you got to get rid of them because that's just the beginning of the mess that they will bring to you, okay? You cannot ignore the signs that God is giving you. All right? You got to pick up on those signs. And this is where so many people get, they fall into that toxic relationship because they ignore the signs or they let those signs go because they have this mindset of, I want to try to make it work. I want to try to make it work. Yes, you want to try to make a relationship work. It takes sacrifice, but remember this, okay? Sacrifice is by both parties, not just by you. So if that person is not sacrificing for you, making you a priority, all right, then you know you are not with the right person, all right? You've got to be on the same page. If you're dealing with somebody, I'm going to give you guys an example because I got to be a little bit more specific so people understand. People that have been through stuff, you know, the older people, they get this, all right? But what I'm trying to say is, if you're dealing with somebody, let's say that person is 45 years old, all right? And you're 30 years old. You're dealing with somebody like that. And that person has never been in a committed relationship, never been engaged, never been married. Right there, that is telling you something. Right there, that is telling you something. That's their track record. That tells you that, you know what? They're not looking for anything serious, okay? They may tell you that. Don't believe anything somebody tells you. Believe what you see, okay? And then you have these people that tell you, a lot of the older ones, they'll come to you and say, well, you know, I sowed all my wild oats. I was out there. I was a player in this, but I'm not like that anymore. I'm looking for something real and this and that. Well, you know what? You're in your 40s. You've had 4 decades to find something real. So guess what? They're still like that, you guys. I know people in their 50s and 60s that are still like that, okay? It's not about age. It's about somebody's basic character. It's about looking at their track record. That will tell you this is who that person is. This is who that person is, not what comes out of their mouth. And that's how you know you're dealing with a narcissist, okay? A narcissist will move the relationship quickly. A narcissist will be overwhelming with compliments in the beginning. A narcissist will future fake you, talk about marriage in the first 3 months, talk about how they love you in the first month, talk about what your kids will look at like, talk about moving in with you within the first 3 months. Narc, 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 narc. These are your red flags, okay? Normal people don't move like that. They should want to know, are you right for them? If somebody's assuming you're right for them and you don't know them a long time, guess what? They're full of shit, all right? You're about to get played, all right? And I'm here to tell you that, to protect you and make you woke and understand that so that you don't get entrapped by one of these narcs that's trying to use you for some kind of benefit that you have, some supply. Never forget who you are, okay? Never forget who you are. And this is what these narcissists do. This is the damage that they do after they're done with you. They try to rip up your self-esteem, rip up your ego. And most of the time when you're looking at a narcissist, you're in a better position than they are in your life. Maybe you have more going for yourself than they have. But in the end of dealing with a narc, they've cut you up that they try to bring you down because they're so insecure and jealous of you. They can't stand the fact that you have more going for yourself. So they're going to rip you up to everybody else because they can't deal with the shame that they feel for themselves because of their jealousy, their envy, and their insecurity, all right? And that's why you got to pick up on those red flags to avoid getting entrapped with these type of people. Here's another thing I want to tell you guys, too, that's very important when you're dealing with narcissists and especially in dating and stuff. In the beginning, when you're dealing with somebody, the first time they cut you up, they judge you, right there is your red flag that's the beginning of what is to come. That is 1/10 of the abuse that you're going to get later on. And you better recognize that. Like, in other words, you're dealing with somebody, they call you something like a sorry ass bitch, or they call you any kind of name or whatever in the very beginning. You know, maybe it's one of your first arguments or something like that. Right there is your red flag. right there is your red flag of who you're dealing. Anybody that could call you something like that has zero respect for you, or maybe zero respect for women. All right. So that right there tells you, this person. And when they come at you, when a narc comes at you, when they're angry, they're going to be so vicious. They're not going to be like a typical argument you have with somebody who has empathy and who's a kind and nice person. They're going to come and they're going to try to rip your soul out. They're going to insult you in every way possible to try to tear you down. And you're going to know it by the viciousness of it. All right. The viciousness that you see in your first argument with them or the second argument with them is going to be, that's how you're going to know if you're dealing with a narc or not, because they're going to be vicious with it. All right. Unless you're dealing with a passive aggressive, covert narcissist that will, smile to your face and hold it inside and hold a grudge later on and pay you back. You're going to have to take your time with that to see what that person is about. But this is just to give you guys a little heads up to watch out for these narcissists so that you do not fall prey to them and get involved with somebody like that, because I got news for you. You marry somebody like that, that is like you are kissing your life away. And especially if you have children with somebody like that, you will be in divorce court. You will be paying lawyers. You will be fighting for custody of your kids. You will be fighting over visitation. You may be fighting over child support. They will disparage you to your children about you, okay? You will have to deal with that person the rest of your life if you have children, okay? So I can't say it enough, you guys. Be careful of who you have kids with. Oh my God. I need to make a plaque of this and put it on the wall for everybody. This is what they need to tell you in school. Be careful of who you have children with, because you're going to be tied to that person, all right, with the issues for the child the rest of your life, okay? So make sure that whoever you pick, you've got to say to yourself, if something were to happen to me, could I trust this person to take care of my kids? Would this person be responsible enough and have the right morals to know how to raise children? Or is this person a narcissist, selfish, and puts themselves above children? Okay? So that's why you take your time. Relationships are complex, and the more time you take with it, the better. The more you'll see things come out. It takes a long time to really, get to know somebody. I mean, if you're really sharp and you have life experience, you could pick it up right away. All right. Like I'm able to pick up what somebody is right away because of all the crap that I dealt with and all the crappy people I dealt with, all right? I could pick it off right away. And that's why I did this podcast, to help other people so they didn't have to go through what I went through, the school of hard knocks, all right? Life experience. I didn't read this in a book, okay? I lived it, and that's how I know it, and that's what I'm trying to tell you guys, to protect you so that you don't throw your life away, years away, on the wrong person, okay? I hope that helps you. If it did, please hit the subscribe button. Please share the podcast and build awareness, because the more you build awareness, the more it kills these people's manipulation. Their manipulation, their gaslighting will not work, okay? It will not work if more people are aware, okay? So share the podcast and have a great day, you guys. If you're having trouble in your relationship, or maybe you're dealing with somebody who's a narcissist and you're really confused, you don't know what to do, you need some advice or some clarity, well, I offer email and also phone coaching. Please go to the podcast description for the link on how to get email or phone coaching, or maybe you just have a question that you need answered. All questions will be answered confidentially. So go to the podcast description where it tells you how Yaz can answer your questions. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Hi, you guys. I just want to make you aware that the Game Exposed podcast now has their merchandise available. You can check out the link in the podcast description. There's hoodies, there's sweatpants, there's t-shirts, there's cool hats. So go check it out. Link is in the podcast description. And follow Yaz on Instagram at dating_advice_Yaz.